What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again, and today, people, today, Solstice of Heroes has returned. And with it, the demonically possessed Eva Levante.
We've all lost so much since the Red War, but we can't let that stop us from celebrating what we have and the guardians who keep us safe.
You know, I had somebody ask me recently, because I'm always joking about how Eva Levante is Savathun, and I mean, come on, read these bounties. Ikora said she needs a Void Guardian to handle a Hive problem. Does that make you all the best at sword logic? No one's been able to explain sword logic to me in a way that's satisfying. For example, Shaxx fears me, but not because I'm stronger than him. How does sword logic account for that? Eva Levante is totally Savathun, but how could that be? Why won't I make my mind up on who Savathun really is? Will the real Savathun please stand up? Is this all just some elaborate troll? I mean, come on guys, Savathun is a hive god. Why can't she say, I don't know, meat puppet multiple people at once? Or better yet, let me paint a picture for you, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages. In some rundown, beaten up part of the city where nobody goes, there sits a freezer, and within that freezer are meat puppets. And Savathun goes to it, opens it, and takes out the meat puppet suit that best suits her needs at the time. But we're not here to talk about what or who Savathun keeps in her necrotic negligee drawer. We're here to talk about Solstice of Heroes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, what can one say about Solstice of Heroes that hasn't basically been said every year so far, because it's quite literally the same event. But you know what? It's not all that bad. I mean, after all, we got a new shotgun whose only good roles seem to be in PvE. So depending on your take and how much you like shotguns in PvP, or maybe don't like shotguns in PvP, that could be a good or a bad thing. That being said, I question the value of a PvE shotgun that's not a slug shotgun or a rapid fire frame. And in PvP, with the most recent nerfs to pellet shotguns, I have a strong feeling we're in for a slug shotgun meta. Just a suspicion. Or should I say chaperone meta, because I think chaperone meta will be more accurate. Nothing more to say about the shotgun, it's just kind of mid-tier. It exists, it's something that you can farm for if you are so inclined to waste your time doing it. But moving forward, the other loot that we are collecting in Solstice of Heroes is of course the coveted Solstice armor. I always hate talking about armor because, personally, I like what I like. And if something doesn't fall into that category, even if it looks amazing, even if everybody else in the community loves it, if I don't care about it, I don't care about it. I'm apathetic. Case in point, the Solstice armor. Somebody on Twitter asked me what I thought of the design of the Solstice armor, and I literally had to look it up because I had completely forgotten what it looked like. It was that inoffensive and kind of unmemorable to me. If it's your thing, have at it. You don't need me validating your opinion on how your Guardian looks. The only person in Destiny whose fashion I care about is Savathun's, and trying to figure out how many dead bodies she has stashed away in her lingerie drawer of concealment, and whose booty is she wearing today. And of course, we can't forget the main event, the European Aerial Zone. And now the last few times that this event has been brought around, it's honestly been one of the most tedious experiences in all of Destiny. The map design just isn't that great. So you have this map that's unintuitively designed, and you have to climb up these buildings and circumnavigate the map to kill ads that die from a stiff wind, or if you look at them wrong, then you have a boss which gets melted almost instantly, unless your team is brain dead or not paying attention. You then scour the map for loot, which is where the map being a mess to transverse comes back to bite you in the ass. And that's how the main event of Solstice of Heroes traditionally plays out. A boring, mind-numbing, tedious grind for loot boxes that you get keys for, that you open up, crowd your inventory, and postmaster with more blues. And don't get me wrong, it's still pretty much the same thing this year. However, Bungie has fixed two of the biggest issues with this activity. First, they added gravity lifts that allow you to circumnavigate the map much more intuitively. Second, once you're done playing your horde mode and you've melted the boss, the icons for the loot that you've earned stay visible on the map. These are both wonderful changes to what's classically been a mind-numbing slog. Don't get me wrong, it's still a mind-numbing slog, but at the very least, it is no longer an unintuitive and annoying mind-numbing slog. Which, in my opinion, is a massive improvement over the past iterations of the event. I mean, if the event is going to be a mindless RNG farm for loot boxes that are often blues, no sense in making that mindless, boring slog tedious and frustrating. So, yeah, they improved it. There is that. Bare fucking minimums. All in all, these events are never really that great, and will always be dictated by the quality of loot available. Rail against that opinion all you want, fanboys, in the comments with all of your shrill, tremulous voices because you like it. Point in the shape of the tooth is, this is a loot-based game, and any activity will always be dictated by the quality of the gear available. Destiny lives and dies based on the quality of its loot. Sorry, not sorry. And to be perfectly clear, I think it's just fine if the main event of an event is a mindless, throwaway horde mode that's recycled every year. I do, however, believe that there needs to be better incentive to play the event playlist than a non-meta, poorly perked shotgun that Bungie was clearly afraid of making meta viable, more so after just nerfing shotguns. I don't blame them for that, by the way, but then perhaps maybe a different reward type might have been better suited or more appropriate. As it stands now, I just don't find the shotgun a compelling enough reason to repetitively play an event playlist over and 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 over again. Why would you farm a shotgun if it's not great in PvP or even PvE, given that slug shotguns are currently the DPS kings of PvE? I guess just to have it, just in case slug shotguns ever get nerfed? But then I'd have to imagine that rapid fire frame shotguns would be a much better choice. Ultimately, the Compass Rose, which is kind of a sweet name, seems to fall short in many regards. On top of that, the steps to upgrade the Solstice armor generally has you doing things outside the event playlist. And with the transmog system, there's no real incentive other than glows to go into the event playlist and farm different stat rolls, unless you have nothing better to do, which is a shame, because I do think the changes to the event playlist make it more palatable for mindless farming. But like always, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. But above all else, stay frosty.